All right, everybody. You guys were all freaking out last week. The A's are 0-5. The A's are 0-5. The season's over. Everybody lose their mind. But you know what? Chris over here was nice, cool, calm, and collected. That's why I'm wearing the sunglasses today, because Chris is feeling pretty cool today. Oh, wait. That's right. I was freaking out, too. Maybe I should take these off. Welcome to Town Tailgate Podcast.
We all were freaking out.
Julio, were you sitting there when I was doing that bit and you're just like, you're such a fucking liar? Were you about to like lose your mind on me?
Well, when you have the glasses, I'm like, all right, is it going to be something with the A's? Is it going to be, you got your first shot?
I did.
Kind of thing.
Today. Boom. I got the scar to show it. Can't really see it on the YouTube anyway. For the audio listeners, I just showed my Band-Aid. I got it today, literally. Came home today, got it.
Party.
Pfizer gang. Suck it.
Yeah, Pfizer gang. What to do?
No, it was we were all freaking out and I was trying to be like, I was cool. I had it together. But I feel cool now because it feels good rooting for a winning team.
Yeah, man. What a difference. That's the name of this week's episode. What a difference a week makes.
I would leave these sunglasses on. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I leave them on all podcasts, but I can't read my second monitor with them on. It's just a blank screen, so I take them off. Go ahead.
Yeah, just what a difference a week makes, man. Yeah. Just like we were like, everything's falling. Everything that we've hated in this last season is showing. Everyone's getting hurt. They can't hit. And then all of a sudden, they just need to leave Oakland. And all those things went down.
I mean, everyone's still hurt, and we're going to get into the reason for that success the second half of the podcast. But today we're going to cover, with the big three, some controversy in a Mets game with a hit batter. The Astros got in some trouble for health and safety protocols, so that's interesting. Not much information's come out on that. We'll talk about that. A lot of players on the injured list for the A's, of course. And then the second half, we're going to talk about why they're successful to this past week and really dive deep into it, why the offense has kind of come alive, why maybe the pitching's come alive. But first, Julio, got to start off with the biggest news of the week. We had a no-hitter.
Yes, but before we do that, make sure, folks, if you're not following us on Twitter, please make sure to give us a follow on @TheTownTailgate. Really, we've been talking a lot during the show, interacting, so make sure to throw your stuff out there. If you're not following the pod, wherever you get your podcasts at, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, review us. Like Chris said last week, let's get paid.
I keep forgetting to do that. My bad.
It's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? This was like a really exciting thing. The Padres.
But hold on, Julio, when we become pro, we'll have a producer who will remind me in my ear to do that for me instead of me being the producer. So there you go.
Yeah. But damn it. God damn it. My segue. Fucking guy. Anyways, the Padres have made.
It'll be perfect like this pitching performance was.
No, it wasn't a perfect game.
You're right. All right. I know. I'm not good with the segues today.
Anyways, Padres threw no-hitter. They were the only team to not have a no-hitter, and it happened, and it belongs to the man from El Cajon, California, suburb of San Diego, Mr. Joe Musgrove.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he grew up a Padres fan, so I think that's probably the most badass part about it. Grew up going to, the Gas Lamp and going to Petco Park. This was pretty wild.
He even grew up going to Qualcomm.
Yeah.
Jack Murphy at Qualcomm, when he grew up going there, man. Like, that shows you that guy is, I think.
Yeah.
Petco's not that old. It's 16 years older, so right. Still.
This when you told me this, I think you saw it on Twitter or something. This was wild to me. I could not believe that he was the only, or that the Padres were the only ones to not have a no-hitter. And the first thought to my mind was they play in a pitcher's ballpark. There's no fucking way that they've never had a no-hitter. Like, I even looked it up. Like, wasn't there like a combined no-hitter for them in the past like year or two? But that was the Brewers. That's that's wild to me. And like, this is like one of the best pitcher ballparks in baseball, like top 5. So that's pretty crazy.
Well, you also think, if you want to play devil's advocate with that, you can say, well, because it's a pitcher's park, there's a lot of room on the grounds to like have weird shit happen when it comes to hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. there's a lot of room to cover. So you can make that argument to go against
is that
it.
Is that a
it's
wide
pretty
ballpark?
crazy.
I don't remember. I've only been there once. I can't remember. And I was
it's
drunk
big.
for half of the game.
I don't think it's anything like AT&T or Oracle or Pac-Bell or whatever the hell they're calling it now. Yeah. Whereas like, Triples Alley, your favorite place in the world, Triples Alley.
Yeah.
But the dimensions are a little funky. There is some space to room, but it's even crazy to think like, over the last 20 years, the Padres have had some pretty good pitchers there. Like Jake Peavy, when he went on his crazy run, James Shields was pretty solid for his time there, and nobody ever did it. And we were like, oh, it's going to be Blake Snell. It'll be Yu Darvish. No, man, Joe Musgrove, the guy that we kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
Final stat line, he went 9 innings, complete game, had 10 strikeouts. He threw no walks, but he hit one batter, man. He was one batter. If he didn't hit that one batter, it's a perfect game.
He just got angry.
It should have been so special.
He got angry and was like, fuck it, I'm going to hit this guy.
But also, if you want to add even more insult to injury, this happened at the Charcoal Grill Stadium, or whatever they're calling the Ranger Stadium now. It just looks like a barbecue grill. You also remember last year is when Slam Diego took off, was at the Rangers when Tatis swung 3-0. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
Rangers,
that's right. Yeah,
the Rangers just don't like the Padres, man. Yeah. There's got to be some like.
Is this going to be one of those like rivalries that comes up in the next few years, like just out of nowhere, and you're just like, well, how did that rivalry start? Oh, that's right.
Tatis like they're gonna
hit unwritten rules, and like in another example, the Tim Anderson has like a weird like hatred for the A's. Is that going to be a rivalry? Yeah. That's really weird as well.
But it's like they're not even like they're not even in the same league. They're not even in-state rivals.
They're going to rarely play.
They're only going to be playing each other in spring training.
Yeah.
And like what's it? Every 3 years for interdivisions play, and then like they're not going to play each other in the World Series. Rangers are probably the worst team in baseball right now,
and not looking much promising in the at least coming few years.
Actually, let me check their record. The only teams that are worse than the Rangers right now are the Rockies and
not us anymore.
Washington.
Not us anymore.
And the Rangers, but not the Rangers, Nationals, but they've had some rainouts and COVID shit. Another fun fact before we go on to the next thing, Victor Caratini was the catcher for that day. He was the reason he's on the Padres in the first place is he was Yu Darvish's personal catcher, and he was also the last person to catch a no-hitter in 2020 when Alec Mills, journeyman pitcher, threw no-hitter for the Cubs. So
something about Alec
him,
Mills,
man. Not many.
Something about him.
Yeah, or Victor Caratini. Yeah.
Or yeah.
Whoops. So yeah,
my bad.
Congrats to the Padres. Congrats to and Whitney's uncle, Skip Kelly, diehard Padres fan. He was blowing up on Facebook about it. I texted him the morning after saying congrats. So yeah, shout out to all those peeps out there.
That's such an uncle
you stay classy,
move.
San Diego.
That's such an uncle move to be losing your shit on Facebook.
I mean, dude, think about it. 50 years
on the poll. Does your uncle constantly lose his shit on Facebook? My uncle does. I will say, Mike. My uncle Mike loses his shit on Facebook all the time.
But think about it, man. 50 years. You know how many times they've probably been so close. And you're like, shit.
No,
obviously it's not a World Series.
It's more about the platform of Facebook than it is.
Oh yeah,
it is like instead of like my uncle's losing his shit on Twitter over something. It's like no, he's losing his shit on Facebook, and it's like it just happens to be the one day of the week that I check my Facebook, and he happens to be losing his shit. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Who was you go? Because I don't know who the batter was. I can't. Oh, wasn't it Conforto?
Yes, Michael Conforto, bases loaded, and they had a walk-off against the Marlins last Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're a little late on this conversation, but also it's going to be tying to the whole. We're going to wrap it up in a bow. But he hit a walk-off walk or hit by pitch, and on the pitch, his elbow was. He was very much leaning into the strike zone, and per rules and regulations, you can't lean into any pitches. If a pitch is coming towards you, got to avoid.
Yeah, an umpire can call that a strike if he really wanted to.
Yeah, he could do that if he really wanted to. And guess what? They didn't. Mets won. That was probably the most controversial thing this week.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other thing that happened in this week, and we need robot umpires because they're not doing a good job anymore, was Alec Baum, rookie for the Philadelphia Phillies, play at the plate. He was tagging from third on a sac fly, and dude was like out, and he never even touched home plate. Umpires called it safe, reviewed it, still called him safe. Even John Boyd, because John Boyd's awesome and a lot of this breakdown stuff. In his clip that they showed, he had 3 different angles running simultaneously, and in all 3 angles, Alec Baum doesn't touch home. And for something that's going on in New York, I was going to say Secaucus, but that's NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But something's going on at this replay where they're not doing a thorough job of looking at this stuff, because if like people in the crowd and people at home and the players can all see he's out, he never touched home, and they're not calling it, like, what can you do, man?
It's either that or they're too much of pussies to reverse the call. It's really that simple. Like I hate to be so like raunchy, but if anyone who listens to the show knows, this is just how I roll. They're just fucking pussies. Like they just don't want to they don't want to get the shit on SportsCenter for the next like fucking month and a half about how they're blowing calls in replay, and then like have to rethink replay. But this is like 10 times worse. Like it's just like it was so blatantly obvious. So I was not about. I believe that there is a lot of, especially with umpiring in baseball, officiating in baseball, that what's the word? And I was being an umpire growing up when I was in high school.
I was just about to bring that up. I was like, why don't you get your umpire hat on?
That was my high school job. I was a Little League umpire. There is a human element that I think is important, because a lot of calls are judgment calls, like infield fly. That's a judgment call. I don't know. We can go up down the list, and I always felt like the strike zone is a judgment call. At the beginning of the game, you are required to give the team your strike zone so they know it and they understand it, and you are supposed to live by what you tell the managers when they turn their lineup card at the beginning of the game. And if you don't live by that, you're going against their word. And every umpire strike zone, in at least like in the rules of baseball, like every umpire strike zone is different, and it says that like there's no specific like guideline for it. It's just like a kind of this umpire rule where it's like from the letters to the knees, like everybody knows that. But the problem is with umpires in baseball, a lot of them are much older. A lot of them are very stubborn, which most officiating I don't know, referees.
I think officiating, referees, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know what the correct word is for that. It's just kind of like a weird like power chip. I don't understand it. Maybe just like that type of profession attracts those type of people. And they're very stubborn to their calls. I think the NBA is probably the best example of people who are a little bit more lenient, who are willing to like talk to the player afterward and kind of like talk through it and see like what the best situation for the call is. But this is fucking ridiculous, man. I mean, like he leaned into that pitch was like a good another ball in the strike zone. Like it was pretty clearly in the strike zone. And if you're set up correctly behind the catcher, you can see that that's in the strike zone, regardless if he leans in or not. Like your view has a very clear peripheral view of the plate below, and the plate is supposed to be the width of the strike zone. So I don't know. He apologized for it afterward, and he saw the tape, and he was like, "I should have called that." But sorry, your apology doesn't get me a win back. So it's fucking pointless. I'll let you respond, and then I'll go in on replay. But go ahead.
No. You kind of hit a lot of the points I wanted to bring up. It's just like, look, NBA in terms of their officiating, I don't think it's any better. I think there's been this season with no fans and the arenas up until now, really. We've seen like a lot of texts getting called for kind of bullshit stuff. Especially, us being Warrior fans, seeing these weird calls on Draymond when like he normally doesn't get that.
Yeah. But there are refs in the NBA that will talk to the player afterward, and you can see like that play happens again, and they call it differently because they realize like, fuck yeah, I
that. And when it comes to replay, that's like stuff like the tech calls. That's a completely different thing. That's just an instinctual thing where like kind of thing. both replay. I feel like NBA actually does a great job with it. They look back and they can do it. NFL, who knows? Maybe just because baseball replay has only been how long has it been around? 5-6 years, maybe. It's not a long thing.
2013 was the first year of it. So 2012, it was home runs, and then they realized that they were fucking up on home runs, and they could utilize it for something else. I think 2013 was the first time, because I remember there was a play at home plate. It was like a pass ball, and Josh Donaldson was at the plate, and they called him out, and it was like Seth Smith like made a play at home. He took it for a pass ball, and he was safe, and they called him out. And I remember Josh Donaldson, like, I don't know why I remember this picture, but it's a really photographic memory moment. He turns around on the bench, he goes, challenge that shit. And he like throws his finger down. And that was
Seth Smith, star of Angels in the Outfield.
What?
Oh shit, you didn't know that?
He was in that movie?
He was a kid. He was in Angels,
like
he was an extra.
Or something?
Yeah, he's in the movie.
That's funny.
And then also filmed in Oakland. So that's kind of tight.
Is he friends with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you think? Can he get me an autograph?
Maybe.
I don't know him, so I'd have to be friends with.
Yeah, so the first step, so we got to hit up Seth Smith and have him become friends with us.
Yeah, for sure.
But before you kind of go on your last soapbox thing, I'm very surprised you did not blame the B word for this.
The B word?
Yeah, what is the name of the old let's see if you can pick this one up. What is the name of the old mini golf / go-kart chain? There was one in the Santa's. Yes.
I mean, the audience knows what I'm talking about. You know, it's like a once a month requirement as hosts of these podcasts that we have to go on a boomer.
Is Chris ageist? Yes or no?
1000% I am. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a joke for if one day I get somewhat famous and blog boys go back. He says he's ageist. Like, no, that was a joke. So fuck off. Okay, so why do we have replay? That's the only thing I just don't get it. If you're not gonna follow through with it, like why are we doing it? It's fucking stupid. It's a waste of time. It slows down the game. They never get it right. Almost never. Like I think there was a stat 2 years ago where it was like in the first month of the season there was like 45 replay reviews. Only one of them was overturned. So it's just like who's in the video booth? That's what I want to know. Is it more boomers? Because that explains it all right there. If it's more boomers, then that's why it's not working. If it's a younger group of guys who are more tech savvy and who are gonna like, you know, weigh at the options, I think we'd have more success. But I mean, to get this blatantly terrible call wrong, like, all right, it's time to get like some. I'm all for. So if you would, I've went off on the tangent a little bit for the strike zone. I want to just get back to the point. If you would have asked me 2 years ago if we should have robotic strike zone, I would have told you no. That's a judgment call. But after seeing how atrocious it's been the past couple of years, I think we totally should. With replay review, like there just needs to be some more power up in the booth or something like that. Something's going wrong, and they're just getting these calls wrong. It's pathetic.
Agreed. Yeah. And the last thing, a part of the big three, it's a couple things. So Chris and I were going back and forth for a while, what we wanted to talk about. Dodgers have been off to a blazing start. They're, I think, 9-2 now,
which we all expected.
Just complete domination. The Boston Red Sox are on a 9-game winning streak. They're kind of, like I said, that's a team I said, like, I wouldn't be shocked if they kind of catch fire. And right now they look great. They look like they're kind of how they were a couple years ago.
Yeah, but the national media's covered that enough. We don't need to talk about it.
But then this afternoon, we got some spicy news. The Houston Astros are placing Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, and Martin Maldonado on the IL for violating health and safety protocols. Both were on their they've all received their first shot. What Dusty Baker had said, so I don't think it's anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we just want to add a couple, chinks in that armor a little bit, the Astros have lost, I believe, like 4 in a row, 4 or 5 in a row. Right now, They are currently losing to.
But didn't they play in those games?
No. Well, yeah, they were playing those games, but I'm saying right now they're losing 6-2 to the Tigers Wednesday night.
Oh, the Tigers suck.
Yeah. So they're kind of. It's crazy how much of a difference like a week makes.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about they look like they're the team, they're offensive juggernaut. But losers to 4 straight, probably going to be 5 in a row, and now they're going to be pretty much the only guys are going to be there, Tucker and Correa.
Yeah, so they might fall down those standings a little bit. I don't know how much we can speculate on what this is, because that's really weird. I mean, if they got their first shot, I don't know. I mean, I know that didn't the MLB come out and say that like if you the rules, the health and safety rules are strict, but depending on how high a percentage of your roster, I think it's actually just clubhouse in general, so like coaches too, is vaccinated, you will get looser restrictions, so you won't get punished for violating the rules. So I don't know how much of their clubhouse has gotten vaccinated, so I don't know how strict the rules they have on their
I don't think there's I don't think there's really a correlation with that. But I think here's what I'm going to say for this correlation is Texas is pretty much wide open again. The state of Texas had a full-on, the Texas Rangers had 100% capacity for their opening series. And Texas is pretty much back to normal.
And you're not required to wear a mask either.
Yeah, masks are not mandatory anymore. And not saying that any of these guys were, participating and not, because, you have a much higher level job where you should be taking this shit serious, even if you don't really fully believe in it, because your job is involved. You should be, still distancing, still masking up and all that stuff. I'm guessing it's just like, I wouldn't be shocked if just Texas is not really doing a great job of still holding their statistics a higher measure when it comes to cases.
Yeah.
And take that for what you will. We don't want to speculate, but in terms of just the team, when you're running a 5-game winning streak, probably a losing streak, and you're going to be without 3 of your best players. And let me see who they're going to be playing up next. The A's are surging. The Angels look really good right now.
Good job, John. You called that one.
Yeah, right.
We didn't believe them, even though it's only 10 games, but still.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you always got to take it with a grain of salt. They're going to be playing the Twins this weekend, who we're going to be seeing them next week. We're going to talk a little bit more about them, but it's just like, whew, have a mighty fall. And then they play the Rockies, but in Colorado. So yeah, it's going to be a tough week for them.
I don't have any sympathy for them because they're fucking cheaters.
And you know what I got to say to that? Good.
Yeah. Let's move on to the A's news. A lot of injuries. We touched on this.
Let's just blaze through these. Yeah, they all kind of.
Yeah, we touched on a few of these last week, but there's more. So Chad Pinder, it doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon. His injury looks brutal, which sucks because he was the only shining light the first 5 games of the season. AJ Puck comes back, pitches 1 great game, then he gets hurt. No timeline for him yet, huh? Ooh.
No timeline to return, and it's just
he's been gone for like 5 days. You'd think they would be able to fucking know by now.
Yeah, it's a bicep. Yeah, you just got to feel for the guy. Like, that's all we can do at this point. So we'll see.
Yeah. Matt Olson's still day to day. He played a couple days ago. So
yeah, but then he got a new one because on Monday night's game, he got hit by a pitch in his finger, had some finger contusion. He stayed in the game, and then he was taken out later. And I think Seth Brown was playing first.
Yeah, and he's been hitting well. So, and Mitch Moreland's a good first baseman. He's been playing really well there too.
Something we should keep an eye on. Mike Fiers has been pitching some simulated games out of the alternate site.
Woo!
Hopefully he's going to be back in the next couple of weeks. Just not. Cole Irvin's been meh.
Yeah, no offense to your boy, but he hasn't. Yeah. Yeah,
but also if your name's not Frankie Montas or Sean Manaea, you've been meh in starter
Chris
supplies.
Bassett pitched really well yesterday, 2 days ago.
He had like 5 walks.
You know,
he had control issues.
He only gave up 2 runs, something like that. I can't remember.
But we got to talk about the most important A's news. And it's a pretty shocking turn of events.
Did not see this one coming.
Yeah. Sergio Romo shaved his beard.
Dude, he looks fucking weird. I'm just going to say it. He looks fucking weird. He didn't look like the same guy.
Wow.
I thought he was Rugnan Odor for a second. He kind of looks like him. They both kind of look like each other without the beard. They don't look like each other with the beard, but without the beard, they do. And it's weird. Did he say why he shaved it?
No, but let me see how he pitched yesterday. And I want to see if there's
it better have been good because he was killing it with the beard for us. So it would suck if he wasn't.
Well, no, he wasn't pitching that great.
What's his ERA right now as it stands?
Hold on. 7.71.
Maybe one of the games that I missed while I was traveling for work. He gave up like a shit ton of runs, but from what I remember, he had some outings and he was looking fucking sexy.
But he came in and had a shutout inning for yesterday for the Diamondbacks game.
Boom, that's like Julio.
Yeah, but that's because he shaved. It's just that baseball paranoia, man.
All right, fine, whatever. I can't disagree with facts. Like you gave me numbers. Numbers don't lie. At this point, it's just stubbornness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
Okay. Should we take a break? Yeah, let's take a break. And then we'll dive into a segment we're gonna call "It's Working" in all caps with a lot of exclamation points. I blew out my speaker there. So sorry.
I was thinking it was going to be more of Anakin and his pod racer when he's going, "It's working. It's working."
Oh, dude, no. The Phantom Menace. As much as I like the Phantom Menace, I watch it later in my life and it's brutal to get through. Like as a kid, it was amazing.
We'll talk after the break about this real quick and then we'll jump into.
Okay, welcome back. Julio, it's working. It's working. We want to talk about some major changes this past offseason. Not with personnel. Well, actually, one of them is with personnel, technically. Yeah. But anyway, some things that Bob Melvin's been experimenting with, it's fucking working. One of them we tweeted about, this first one, and it blew up on our Twitter. So thank you everybody for who liked it and retweeted it. This was just a random. I was just, at the end of the day, typically how I finish off my day, I'll watch a movie or TV show or something, and I'll be like laying on my couch, and then I'll kind of go through the box scores and the standings of the baseball day. If just to catch up on what I missed. Doing a baseball podcast, it's important to stay informed. So I was looking at stat leaders for the MLB, and I saw that Mark Canha was leading the league in runs scored by like at the day I showed you, it was like he was leading by like 5 runs. Like there was not anyone really close. Which sidebar, Ramon Laureano is leading in steals. That's pretty cool. Small ball. It looks like they're going back to small ball. Anyway, so Mark Canha was leading by runs scored, and I was looking at it, and his average is like, it's okay. It's around like 240 or something like that. But the walks are up again. So that means that the idea of putting the veteran, experienced, calm and collected outfielder at the top of the lineup is working. So Julio, let me ask you this question. And right now he still currently leads the MLB with 13 runs scored. Not bring in runs, by the way, just to clarify for the listeners. That's runs scored himself. So he has touched home plate 13 times. Let me ask you this question, Leo, before you jump into it. Is the age of the speed demon at the top of the lineup over?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Or
is the age of prioritizing speed at the number one leadoff spot over?
I think it has been. It's just this is the first time the A's have really kind of bit into stuff. Because if you look back, a lot of teams have been doing this in the past. So like Joey Votto had been a leadoff hitter for a minute just because, on base machine monster.
Dexter Fowler, I think, is an example that not everybody has been doing it. He hits like 220 the past few seasons, and he's still been leading off for the Cardinals and the Cubs.
I wouldn't say, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't say everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
But a lot of teams have been doing it in the past. I think Anthony Rizzo was hitting leadoff for a while for the Cubs. And yeah, I think that we're just kind of reaching that point where it's like, it doesn't matter if your guy is fast because, one, I feel not a lot of teams steal anymore unless you're like Acuna or, Ramon Laureano now, plus ups. But it's just like, it's crazy how this, like, so far into this season, it's really paying off. And I think another thing we got to kind of talk about, you already mentioned the top with Ramon leading baseball in steals, is they're just being way more aggressive on the bases. Especially with Canna, he's not afraid to take third if he's going from first to third, and then he's not afraid to take home from second to home. And that he's okay with being aggressive about it. And it's not just him, it's not just Ramon. Like Matt Chapman has always been kind of a pretty decent runner around the bases, and you can tell from time to time he's being a little more aggressive out there. And it's been really weird. Like, I wouldn't say exciting, I wouldn't say fun, because it's like, dude, it's Moneyball. What's the Moneyball philosophy? Dude, just like, you don't steal.
Yeah.
Right. And just now they're like, sure, let's try it. We got Elvis Andrus, who's got all these years of base stealing experience. Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm. What does he say to Terrence Long in the movie? He's like, don't steal any bases. Stolen bases and out. He goes, that's what I do. That's what you pay me to do. No, I pay you to get on first, not get thrown out at second. That's like the one of my favorite lines of that movie. And I want to say, it's not that Mark Canna's slow. He's not. He's one of the fastest guys on our team, but he's not the fastest guy. He's not Ramon Laureano. This was 10 years ago. Ramon would have that leadoff spot, but because Canna walks so much, it makes a lot of sense. No, they have been a lot more aggressive. And honestly, dude, I think they're playing, it kind of looks like they're playing more small ball. And I think the reason why they're doing it is because they're not hitting the ball at the park. I think they saw the first 5 games. I think Bo Mel saw that they couldn't do it. That that 1 through 3, that's another thing we're talking about that me and Julio have been texting about a lot all week, is the lineup, excluding yesterday's game, because yesterday's game, everybody hit. It was really fun to watch. But the success in the last 5 games is 1 through 3 has been hitting, and they've been hitting well, and they've been hitting with runners on base. That's been Mark Canna, Ramon Laureano, and Jed Lowry. They just have been consistent. They've gotten 2 hits. It feels like every single game. And I think that they realize that the middle of the lineup, Olsen, Chapman, Piscotty, Moreland, those guys aren't hitting the ball at the park, and they need to score runs somehow. So let's play some small ball. Let's go for third on a single instead of stopping at second. Let's try and steal a bag and put a runner in scoring position, before Jed gets up the bat. Shit like that.
So, do we have anything else you want to talk about with this?
No, because I think I'll lead into the next thing.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I think a big reason on why, it's a kind of a classic baseball formula. You get somebody who gets on base, and then you have somebody who can consistently bring them home. And right now, our next project that's working is Jed Lowry. Jed Lowry in the 3-hole.
Say his nickname, Julio. Say his nickname.
Just eats doubles. Or yesterday, he's just eats dingers.
Specifically yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, but he's tied for 4th in the AL in RBIs. He's got 11 RBIs in this season. So, you really need to be a mathematician to see, if this guy is leading the leadoff hitter is leading baseball in runs scored, and their 3-hole hitter is 4th in RBIs.
I tweeted something after it wasn't a walk-off. It was their game-winning The game winning. Or no, maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't it was just like, it was the Seth Brown go ahead.
I tweeted Jed Lowry is the greatest A's second baseman of all time. Don't at me. I truly, full-heartedly believe that statement. I really do. I'm trying to think of someone who's somewhat close to that.
Ooh.
Mark Ellis, only because of length.
Only
because of length. Mark Ellis he was consistently a 290 hitter, never hit more than 15 home runs. He hit around like 12 every season. Was an above average defender, but he never made an all-star team, was never in consideration for MVP, which Jed has been. And yeah, I'd fucking love Jed Lowry. And it's he's always been a doubles machine too, which has been great. And the reason why is because he has a flat swing. And so he's like perfect for that third lineup. He always finds the gaps. He always just gets enough of the ball to where it doesn't quite go out, but it'll bounce off the wall and it can get guys in. And like these two guys are the perfect guys to bat in front of him. So I hope they don't change this. Even if like Olsen and Chapman go on a tear and they're like, okay, maybe we should give these guys more bats, put them in the top lineup. I really hope they don't, because this is the perfect 1-2-3 punch.
And to kind of, and just to throw out some numbers there to kind of back up the facts, he's in the 3-hole most of the season. He's hitting 333. He's got a 417 on base percentage, 548 slugging, and he's only getting paid $1.5 million.
I know, it's great.
Cha-ching.
Well, I mean, the Mets paid him enough. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because I think at the beginning of the year when we had Alex Coffey on here, but I think we probably discussed it multiple times afterwards as well. It's just like, what's going to be the deal with leadoff? We have Elvis, who his career, he's been the leadoff hitter. He's we mentioned it earlier, but he's great on the base paths, he's known to get some steals, and he's been, for lack of better words, he's been terrible to start the season.
Yeah.
It's no fault to his own, but it's like maybe having this formula and then, OG baseball, softball rules, if you're in the 9-hole, you're more or less going to be another leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Just at the bottom of that lineup kind of thing. So like they look in great shape. And with that, if Canada can continue this with Jed hitting in that 3-hole, and then 2, you can put Ramon, you can put Chappie, it's going to be super flexible.
And Piscotty's starting to heat up again too.
Piscotty's hitting again too. Oh, shout out to Locked On Ace podcast as well. They tweeted earlier in the day yesterday, I think Piscotty had a single and they're like, Piscotty's bat teeing up. And like, I liked it. I kept an eye out on it. Mm-hmm. And then like second or third at bat afterwards, he had a home run. Nice. So shout out to that, the Nostradamus there.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives them a lot of flexibility in terms of what they can do with that middle to back of lineup. If like, cool, 1, 2, 3 set. And then if Elvis can be the 9-hole hitter all season long and he's cool with it, and he seems like the kind of guy that'd be fine with it.
Yeah, if he can get on base and then kick it back to those guys at the top.
Exactly. With his speed still. And
that means the middle of the lineup, which they're all streaky hitters, but when they're going to be hot, it's going to be good for us. That Olsen, Chapman, Moreland, Murphy, like those, and Piscotty, like those guys, and then it's just going to be the meat of it. But yeah, the 1 through 3, we need to have reliable people there.
Yeah. And then I'm sure if you've been living under a rock, the A's have gone on a 4-game win streak. They've won 5 of their last 6. They're starting to click again. And a big part of it has to deal with it's working, how they're playing defense. It's been kind of an emphasis during the broadcasts for radio and TV that Baumel has been playing the team a lot more in defensive shifts. So, and when he hasn't been that kind of guy before, and it's working. The A's are 4th in American League in Major League Baseball in double plays turned, and their fielding percentage actually lead the American League. They're 989, which that shouldn't be a shocker just because of Chappie and Ollie, and then plus we know how good Lowry can be out there and Ramon. They're creating a winning formula. If they can get whatever Yips, Luzardo, and Bassett are having, this is how you build a winning team, man.
So I was when I saw this last night and I was like thinking about it. I think the reason why he's doing shifts more um is the reliability and the flexibility of the middle of the lineup. So last year with La Stella, not much range on that arm. Also defensively, he was fine, but he wasn't the best. Where Lowry played shortstop for half his career, so we know that he's a stud at second base. So you can trust him. And Elvis probably has as strong as of an arm as Marcus did, which Marcus had a really strong arm, but he's about a half a second quicker because he doesn't pump before he throws. So that's another thing about that. He can play a little bit deeper if they want to do the lefty shift. He can, there's just more range there with those two middle guys, and also the experience and having the awareness as opposed to in the recent past. So I think that's got to be. I think that has to be part of it. Don't quote me. He hasn't said that. Bob Mills hasn't said that. That's just my analysis from watching the games. I totally forgot the last thing I was going to say. I'll take
you were on a roll too.
Oh, was I?
Oh, now you're throwing it back to me. Yeah. No, that's honestly, that's real. No, that's like just from observing. Sorry. Just from observing that. Yeah, it's true. Like, no offense to Lustella and Kemp and whoever else, and I know Pinder from time to time had placed Profar at second. Yeah. Jed was a Gold Glove finalist a few years ago in his last season in Oakland. So we know what he's capable of out there, and Bomo knows what he's capable of. So just to see that it's actually working, these shifts it seems like they look a lot easier than they actually are. Mm-hmm. And it's worked. Their team's coming around.
Let me ask you a quick sidebar. I remember what it was before we finish it off. So today I was listening to Mason in Ireland on ESPN radio while I was driving to go get my test, and Ramona Shelburne was on there, and John Allen was asking her if she likes the shift, if they should outlaw the shift, because that's been a big conversation topic lately. And Ramona Shelburne said the thing that I could not agree more with ever. She said that I'm totally blanking. Sorry, I got a notification from our Twitter account that you're gonna lose your mind about. She said something. I don't ever feel bad about shifts, because if you're a lefty hitter and they do the left-handed shift on you, like, you're an idiot for not trying to just it's a free single. All you have to do is put it up the shortstop line or the third base line. It's a free single. So if you don't adjust to that, that's on you. Or if you don't bunt to the third base side, that's on you. The defenders should be able to do whatever they want in order to counteract your defense and whatnot, or your offense and whatnot, so they could put themselves in the best position possible. That would be like if the NBA said, you guys can't play zone anymore. You can only play man. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you got to do whatever you can in order to play the best defense. If you're a smart offensive player, you're going to take advantage of it. So I just wanted to see what your take was on that. I know it wasn't really a question, but I just want to hear your opinion.
One, it's awesome to hear Ramona Shelburne talk about baseball. Yeah. Because I don't know if you know this or you've seen her. She was like a badass softball player. And I've seen her. They've shown clips of her on Around the Horn from time to time.
Scholarship at Cal.
Yeah, she was like a freaking stud. So I
love Momo so much. I love her.
Yeah, and I'm hit or miss with her just because of some of the basketball is very in terms of reporters. It's so it's so much more toxic than other sport for whatever reason. But yeah, 1000% agree, man. Adapt or die.
Yeah,
it was we can take it back to the most simplest thing. Shout out to Robbie Schlatter. You know, the guys, Fort Train Savages, make sure you give them a follow, all that stuff. Robbie and I used to play last year MLB The Show a lot. And when you're playing against if you're hitting, let's say if you're Bryce Harper's up to bat, the game will automatically put you in a shift. And I was relatively new in playing the game. Mm-hmm. Every time Bryce Harper would come up, and I pitched to him and he would have Bryce, he'd spun it.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you got to change thing. Yeah, fix that shit. And so if anything, it's like, just to harp on that, like, cool, you're going to keep complaining about the shift. Well, adapt. look, do more bunting, do more situational hitting. To learn, like if you, like it's stupid.
Small ball.
Adapt or die. Small ball.
All right. Do you have another one you want to throw in there? Or are you good?
No, yeah, that's good. I think cool. It's just everyone just gotta say, man, it's just been a fucking relief. It's just been so nice just to like.
And we have a little bit of relief. Well, a little bit of relief coming in the schedule. So let's talk about that. This Thursday. So if you're listening to the podcast, today came out today through Sunday. Through Sunday. Sorry. Weekend series. They're playing the Detroit Tigers. So that'll be nice to hopefully rack up some wins and get that record up so we can be competitive with the Angels. And then
wouldn't get ahead of ourselves just yet. They're actually with knock this. On wood. Yeah, knock on wood if you're with me. Actually, you would know this, dude. Matthew Boyd is finally coming back. He's pitching like he was a couple years ago. And of course, we got to talk about real quick.
He's on my fantasy team for the listeners.
Yeah, exactly. The freaking one of the stories of baseball right now, Akil Baddoo.
That's a fun name.
But their 22-year-old got called up, and he's hitting 385, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. He's taking he looks awesome right now. So
that's all good, Danny. But 2 guys don't scare me.
No. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I'm just saying. These aren't the Detroit Tigers of 2 years ago or 3 years ago. They got some pieces there.
Yeah.
Are they going to be the Detroit Tigers from 8 years ago? No. But
well, hopefully we can rack up some wins. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, there we go.
This win streak. Anyway, after that, beginning of the next week, Monday through Wednesday, the Minnesota Twins are in town. This is going to be a little bit tougher. Byron Buxton's finally playing good baseball. That's fun. Look at that. We've been hearing about he's a top prospect for what feels like 5 years now, and he just hasn't developed. So, yeah, that's good. It's not good for us I'm coming into home, but you guys get what I mean. Yeah.
Then old man Cruz.
Yeah.
How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
Guy. So he's 50 now, right?
He actually. It's funny that. People are every getting vaccinated and stuff. He actually got vaccinated back in January because he's over 65 years old.
He didn't actually, everybody. That was a bit. Well, fuck them. Hopefully they go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting though, because before we kind of jump into kind of talk about our play of the week and all that, the Tigers are below 500 now, but they start off super hot. They were on a 4-game losing streak. And but their run differentials, I think they actually lead the American League in run differential, or they're in second in the American League now because of Boston. Third. Sorry. You know what? Look, they're doing good run differential wise. I'm just going to say that. Super fun series to keep an eye out on. This is definitely going to be one of those games. Not like we're watching it.
It's gone down since you wrote that stat. They're at plus 12 now.
God damn it.
Yeah. They're 4th place. Still pretty good. So 4th place in run differential. Plus 10.
Still good. But yeah, fun. Couple of really fun series coming up.
Yeah. All right. So let's do our player of the week, and then we're going to give some shout outs. We're going to start giving shout outs when we reach out to you guys on Twitter during the segment.
Yeah. So now before I say we do the shout outs first.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, all right. So we have a couple. This is the first time we're doing it.
Yeah, but one of them's Chris Martinez, and who cares about Chris Martinez? Just kidding.
Yeah,
I love you.
Actually, if you are in the East Bay or in the Bay Area Greater, please call Chris Martinez for
free advertising,
State
Chris.
Farms inquiries.
Chris, free advertising, Chris.
Chris, look, hold on, real talk.
Pay us, you motherfucker.
We've known you for well over a decade, if not longer. We can be an advertiser if we need us to. Look, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And Chris Martinez, State Farm agent.
The MLB Player of the Week brought to you by State Farm, Chris Martinez. That's a fantastic name. Chris.
Right, so okay, go ahead.
Okay. Anyways,
we gotta finish sorry.
We're gonna do this more consistently. We're gonna be posting on our Reddit, for today's Reddit. If you're not on there, we post in there once a week, comment and stuff, and then on Twitter. just to get your feedback. So Chris replied saying his players of the week are Jed/Ramon. That's cheating. You only can pick one. Yeah. Christine Miller.
Stick with the rules, Chris. All right. That's it. Sponsorship's gone.
Yeah. Christine Miller on Twitter. She said Canna, which, we had a whole segment about him.
Yeah.
And then on Reddit, we had a Reddit user by the name of Brownie McBrownface said Ramon, Tony Montana, Laureano, which
love it.
Love the nickname. But Chris, who's your play of the week?
My Town Tailgate Player of the Week, presented by Chris Martinez, State Farm Agent Creek,
allegedly
is Jed Lowry, for all the reasons that I deep-throated him earlier in this podcast. He's the shit, and I love him, and I'm so glad he's back. I called it at the beginning of the season, Julio. You heard it. The listeners heard it. He would be the starting second baseman on this team. He is. He's killing it. No one's taking his job, especially with Chad Pinder hurt. So, fuck yeah.
Love it. Look.
Oh, you wanted to comment on that? Sorry, go ahead.
No. Like, dude, there's not we don't need to comment because
Mr.
honestly,
Cool over here who called Jed Lowry as a starting second baseman. I'm wearing these sunglasses for the rest of the pod now.
But honestly, all those people that everybody named off, they're all friggin' awesome answers. Also, we got to give a shout out to Seth Brown, hit his first career home run, and then hit a go-ahead home run yesterday. The minor league numbers are starting to show tight. But I'm actually going to give my award to the person that started this streak to kind of break this team out of their funk and set the pace. Sean Manaea. You're getting my Player of the Week award.
It's a solid pick.
Yeah.
Great outing.
Yep. Great outing against Houston on Thursday. Pitched 6 innings, gave 6 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. He only gave up 1 walk, which is excellent to hear, only 1 walk. And that was the A's. Like, they came back to 1. He shut down that Houston lineup that had been so lethal against his team so far. And I think something we got to talk about this pitching real quick is we got to give a shout out to Aramis Garcia, who he's pretty much had a pitch majority of the season because of Murph being hurt on and off.
Bounce back from week 1 for sure.
Also, if you're going to call out your shout out with Jed, we have to unfortunately call out Alex Coffey again, because she's like, yeah, Sean always gets these random weird injuries. And it happened again.
Yeah. So Alex, just quick sidebar. Alex posted something. She's doing a mailbag. So I was going to comment in her mentions and comment and say like, oh, what a convenient week to do a mailbag. Funny how you didn't do it a week ago when we were all freaking out. It seems like your email is going to be a lot more lightheaded this week, and just like kind of make fun of her. But I didn't do that because that would just be rude. Shout out Alex. Good call. Touche.
Yeah, like those guys. But Chris, it's time to get those tongs, get the brush, grill, scrubber things, get your favorite barbecue sauce, because we're bringing up our essential tool of the week. Go ahead and lead it off.
So actually, another quick sidebar.
Oh,
when people first meet me, they think that I'm Hawaiian, Polynesian, or I
can see it,
or Samoan. I'm not. I'm Mexican. For those of you who were curious. Should I just start saying that I am, and I'm Sean Manaea's brother?
No, Sean Manaea's brother are the Wadas.
Okay. All right.
We determined that. We determined that already. But anyways, who is your essential tool of the week?
Essential tailgate tool of the week is the number 4 hole hitter. So it's a little bit general, but here's why. It's been switching up. So normally it's Matt Olson, but he's been hurt. So yesterday it was Matt Chapman. It could potentially be Stephen Piscotty if Matt Chapman starts to slump. It could potentially be Mitch Moreland if one of those guys starts to slump. So the number 4 hitter is so important because 1 through 3 is getting the job done. They're going to hopefully, knock on wood, if you're with me, keep getting the job done. So what we need is a number 4 hitter to bring those runs in. We need to start bringing runs in. Even though 1 through 3 is doing us well, we're still scoring. We've been scoring like 6 runs a game. That average is not official. I'm just like guessing. We're still stranding runners, and we can't be doing that. We got to bring those guys in. So number 4 hole hitter, step it up. And I think we could see that this week, especially with such a big game Manchap had yesterday. So what's yours?
Yeah, general, but I love it. I think this is going to be the week that I know I'm not really going to knock on wood because I don't know if you're going to like it, but you're not going to love it because of your own reasons. I think this could be the week that Lou Trevino takes over the closer role full time.
Ooh, I've been looking at that.
Yeah. Again, look, Chris and I are in a fantasy league together with the Schlatters as well as their friends. And Chris picked up Jake Diekman when Trevor Rosenthal went down. Hasn't looked good so far. But Lou Trevino, he's been fantastic to start this season. He has a 1.04 ERA. He got his first save of the season yesterday, but also the A's first save period of the season.
I don't think, was it an official save? I don't think
it was an official save. Yeah. So yeah, he looks, a lot of knocking on wood right now. But he looks like he's kind of he's looking like the guy we saw in 2018 his rookie year. And that's really optimistic. We had such high expectations of him in 2019 and he was not great. And then at the end of last season, he actually looked pretty good as well. So my hope is this season against a really good hitting Twins team, bless you.
Sorry.
He'll just claim this role.
Jake's an 8th inning guy. He should stay in the 8th inning. I agree.
Sure.
Oh, you don't think that Jake should be an 8th?
Oh, I thought you were saying it because of your own personal investment. And Jake's a 8th inning guy. My mistake. I got my.
No, I haven't
my
completely committed to Lou yet. I haven't picked him up.
Have you?
I probably should.
No, you're fine.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I agree. I like that. I like Lou. Okay, so that's gonna. Do you have any final remarks, or should we end the pod?
No, but yeah, make sure give us a follow on Twitter if you're not already. Can you show that one more time?
I was gonna actually do that this time. I remembered.
Also, I think it'd be pretty fun. I pre-ordered MLB The Show. I'll be able to play it tomorrow night. So maybe if there's some people on Twitter who want to match up on there, you know what I'm trying to say.
Slide into your handle. I don't know. I don't play video games, so I don't get it. Thanks for tuning in.
Whatever. Same thing.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember to stay cool. For the people listening on audio, I'm pointing to my sunglasses that I'm wearing. Remember to stay cool because the A's are cool right now. You stay cool, Oakland. And last but not least, Julio.
Let's go, Oakland.
Stay cool. The Town Tailgate is an independently produced podcast. It is written and executive produced by this guy, Chris Madrigal, and my partner in crime, Julio Reynoso. It is sound mixed and edited by yours truly. Social media management and marketing is run by, once again, my partner, Julio Reynoso. And a special thanks and shout out to my brother, Larry Madrigal, for composing and producing our theme song, as well as graphic designing our album cover and artwork. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Please tune in next week. Please subscribe. And last but not least, as we always say, let's go Oakland.